trick game.
I wasn't ready for that.
No one was ready for it. It came out of nowhere. That thing came out of nowhere.
I lost my bet that there would never be a game in the history of the NBA that was called the whoop that trick game. I lost that bet.
Well, there's the Steph Curry game in Game 4 at Boston. There's the blank you Draymond game in Game 3. Remember when they punked him,
He got
Steiny?
thrown out. Remember,
he got
is
punked.
that the one?
No, that was in Memphis. He got thrown out.
Yeah.
Remember? And he was clapping his way off the
whoop
floor.
That trick.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
All right. By the way,
anyway.
hi, Goo. Hi, Steiny. Yeah,
What's up,
Steiny
Jason?
and Goo jumping on in here. Hello, boys.
I'm
How we
still
doing?
on the high from Sunday's party.
Good for you.
Yeah,
Good for
right
I can
now.
tell. You
Yeah.
still got your 1-star rated Dallas
Yeah.
Cowboys gear on?
Yeah, speaking of high, can I go somewhere real quick?
Sure. So high.
I had a gripe last week with Steiny about these debacles of part twos to these movies. Like they're doing a reboot of White Men Can't Jump, House Party. LeBron was in it. It was awful. Okay, this is the first, but have we got so weak at coming up with the script that we have a cocaine bear?
It's based on a true story.
I don't. What is it? What are we talking
Most
about?
fiction is based on reality.
I don't know what you're talking. I don't know what this movie is.
There's a movie, Cocaine Bear.
Is it a bear who does a bunch of
gets
cocaine?
into but the Tony Montana, but he's a bear.
Oh, and he goes like crazy. The bear
That's
goes.
correct.
What are we doing? What message are we sending,
The
guys?
bear stays up late playing pool and playing darts.
I don't play with the nose candy, but give me something else, Willard.
You watch, that movie's going to do well.
Dude, see that, and that's
It
the
will.
problem. I'm being for
Again, it's
What
based
about
on
the
a true
kids?
story.
Okay.
Do you remember the movie Sharknado?
Yes.
They made like 6 of them.
Oh, God.
Because it was such a
And
smash
not,
hit.
and by the way, not based on a true story. Sharknado.
I'm for real. I'm
What's
just
his
irritated,
name?
man.
One of my favorites. Ziering. Adam Ziering?
Oh, Ian.
Ian
Ziering, that's right.
He pronounces it
Okay.
Ian. Ian Ziering.
The other ridiculous
Beverly
movie,
Hills 90210.
I had to throw
Melrose.
that in there.
Samuel
Cocaine
L.
Bear.
Jackson, Snakes on a Plane.
But that's not okay.
Was that based on reality, Steiny?
That I don't know.
I'm tired of
I
these
mean,
mother father snakes on a plane.
It technically could happen.
Could, yeah.
It's plausible. You are listening to 95.7 The Game, KGMZ FM and HD1 San Francisco, always live on the Odyssey app. And these shows on a daily basis are based on a true story.
So between the hosts, we got 2 teams here.
What do you mean?
Bonte and myself, you, Dibbs, Willard, and Shasky. Dude, you guys were like, the Warriors are done. Like, there's no stat that's going to win the title right now. Everybody relax. Woosah.
No.
And it's all about Stephen Curry. And when he comes back, Slater had a piece where there was a crutch at his locker. Like, that's what
Draymond
this is
Green.
about. That's a
So hold on.
give you a
hold
4.
No, I'm not
Just
gonna,
everybody relax until we see it.
I'm not going to accept the label Warriors are done. I'm not on that team.
Oh, okay. All right.
Here's what I'm done with. This style of basketball. So if the Warriors show up in a month and play a different style of basketball, and I admit they might, then we're going to have a different discussion.
Okay, that sounds different.
But and that's the point I try to make today. You want to win games 135 to 126? You going home. You're going home. Whether it's before the first round, in the play-in, in the first round, you will go home if you want to play 135 to 126 in the playoffs. That's what I'm getting at. I still like these defensive metrics.
Nothing matters. What we're seeing is
won't work.
Nothing matters.
It's fictitious, Steiny.
Nothing matters.
No, I'm just
okay.
Don't base everything on what you
Let me
see
ask
now.
you this,
57 games is not fictitious.
Let me ask you this,
That's a
Goo.
body of work.
Because you're a hunter.
Yeah.
Have you ever employed a hunting dog?
Yeah, Danny.
You kill something because that's what you guys like
He was
to
an
do.
Irish setter.
And
You
then,
know that a hungry dog hunts best.
right.
Low deal.
You're reminding me of that, like a hunting dog. You're just sniffing. You're sniffing around. You need to find something positive, because you know why? It's hard to find something positive.
Right.
So you're out, but there's no carcass.
Okay, but
there's no carcass. Nothing was shot down yet.
Not you guys, but what you're doing is you're telling me what Denver has done through umpteen games is finalized. Like, give them the chip. It doesn't work that way. Are they going to be able to guard in a 7-game series? Denver? I don't know. The Clippers?
No one's
I
giving
don't know.
them the chip.
But it sounds like that when
if
people
you reach into the big bag of Lays and you're handing out chips, the Warriors Warriors are maybe getting the 11th chip in the bag.
It's ugly right now. I get it.
They're getting the crumbs at the bottom that you tilt
But you
the
don't
bag
think
and you
game
eat.
one go time, they got to make
better
it.
make it.
I'm a little nervous. Willard, you don't think that they're going to go away from that? Like they're
Well,
not,
how do they go away from it?
They got to put that together, and we have time. But it will help if Gary Payton II can help. I get why they did that, and if Curry's back. But
So can I just address
like I
something?
throw out last night. Like
Okay.
that's not who they really. That's not indicative of who they really
That's
are.
that's exactly who they are. And before you throw that out, Steiny, I'm just
Sure.
going to give you some numbers in terms of
You're going to win this.
who they were and who they are. Forget the record. In 57 games, they're showing you who they are. Last year, they were 13th in the association in pace.
Gotcha.
This year, they're number 1. Last year, they were number 2 in the association in field goal percentage allowed. This year, I think they're 16th.
Not good.
So in turnovers and fouls, they've always been a turnover
last
and a
in
foul
both.
machine,
Okay.
or they're second in both. But my point is, they're playing this year like Charles Barkley talked about 7 years ago. They are a jump shooting team. They're an AAU team. They don't defend at all. So 57 games is a lot of time to look. So I don't think that they can become the team that Mark is talking about, the team that they would need to be to go on a run. I don't think they have it in them.
Here's the biggest problem I see for the Warriors. And again, maybe they can all turn it around. But when they were at their best, I was just thinking about this with Klay Thompson. When they were at their best, Klay Thompson was a great on-the-ball defender. Great. The dirty little secret, even back then, well, not dirty little secret,
He
but
guarded two players.
his weakness has always been guarding off the ball. And one of the reasons I've heard this from people who are in the league, know more than me, is he's good. He can focus on a guy with the ball. When this guy's off the ball, he wanders a little bit. Okay, so just think about that for a minute. So now he can't guard ones as well as he used to. So because of that, he's gonna have to guard off the ball a little bit more. But that's a weakness of his defensively. So now I think, well, how can they win it all? Well, they got to have Poole, Klay, and Curry. Like they have to be big fixtures on the floor, I think. Like at the same time, at least half the game, 20 minutes or so, whatever. They're not like Klay used to be an anchor for that defense, and like
What was
positive
he real quick in
defensive
last June
anchor
against Boston?
He was good enough.
And
he was
he
good
didn't have
enough.
to be an on-ball defender because you had Gary Payton
Right.
II,
And
which
Wiggins.
you
you
also
have
had Andrew
now,
Wiggins.
who was sick, and his body will be right.
GP2?
4 down. No, Wiggins.
Oh,
I mean, dude, it was zapped out of him. Last night he looked like old Wiggs with the 4 down. Go, give me that all day.
Right,
Okay,
right.
if he's going to become what he was in June, I believe. But Willard, that 136 and what I see from Klay in stretches, your best defense can be your offense. And if Curry is healthy,
I don't agree.
That's where
I don't
and it's
agree.
about timely stops, guys.
Yeah, so I hear you, and I just don't agree that will work in the playoffs. Like there historically is not evidence that if you're bad defensively but you're elite offensively, it'll work. And it we even sort of were talking about this after the Super Bowl the other day. Can we dispel the myth in football that defense wins championships? And I think we've reached an era where you can. I don't think defense wins championships, but I think if your defense is awful, that loses championships. And the Warriors right now, maybe there's something short of awful, but they're bad. At minimum, they're not good. They're not what
this
they
can be
were
quick.
before. If their plan is to just go outscore everybody, I don't think that's going to work.
Okay.
That's not going to
I'm
work.
being proactive. I don't think that's the plan, but they've yet to have one damn bad defensive game in the playoffs. The reason is the playoffs haven't started.
Right.
And now bringing GP2 back, what's the difference in this team than last year? There's 2 names, Otto Porter Jr. and Bielitsa, and to me, that should not be enough for this team not to get back. So it's about mindset. It's about psyche when the off start
You didn't
and everybody's
bring
healthy.
GP2
Let's
back.
go.
You brought GP Street Clothes back. GP2 may not play a game this year.
I was being proactive.
Well, and I appreciate the positive spin, but in addition to that, you have, like, Steiny's right in terms of you need Steph, Clay, and Jordan Poole on the floor. Well, Steph is an average defender at best, and Jordan Poole is a human turnstile. And Clay, I think you're right about his on-ball defense. So who do you have on the
backdoor yesterday
who
a
on
few
this
times?
team
I saw that.
can go out there on the ball and stop Ja Morant or
Andrew
stop
Wiggins.
Kyrie Irving?
Andrew Wiggins.
I don't know if he can.
I mean, nobody's going to stop. You know what I mean? Like, that's your guy.
Most of these teams, though, have multiple players. Like Denver's got 3 or 4 legitimate problems for you to defend. And you got Draymond and Wiggins and who else?
I'm riding till the wheels fall off, Stein. I need to see it. And if you're telling me it's Minnesota, it's Sacramento, they can't stop a nosebleed. They're the 3 seed.
Yeah.
So I cannot wait for but I got to be careful. They got to qualify.
You're all over the place.
Yeah. So are the Warriors.
Yeah, they're going to win a title, but who they might not qualify. Well, what is it?
That's reality.
I know. So what is it?
I can't predict the future. I know we got to bet.
The one thing in your favor, if you look at defensive rating, so per 100 possessions, defensive rating, the top 6 of the top 7 teams are Eastern Conference teams. So Memphis is the only team that is in the top 7. In terms of the Warriors, they might get into some of these series where there are more games, 125 to 124, based on some of these Western teams that don't play a lot of great defense.
Well, and these stats and rankings and collectives and analytics and everything, I mean, do they change at the trade deadline? These are all collectively about a Western Conference that didn't include Kevin Durant. It didn't include Kyrie Irving. And I guess your overall point, Goo, is a fair one, which is that if what you want to say is, I believe that in a month and a half, the same thing that happened last year will happen this year, which is the Warriors are going to snap a finger and all be healthy, all at the same time, and then sort of play collectively at a higher level than we had seen all year. Sure, that could happen.
Right.
That absolutely could happen. And I'm not going to be a disbeliever in that. But the constant that was also there before that happened last year was that this was a good defensive team. It's not there this year. And we're searching. Mike Brown, physicality, lack of motivation, I have no idea. But these types of games, Dibbs is right. Part of it is the league, but these types of games almost never happened last year. They never gave up this many points in a game. And they're going so fast. And is that Jordan Poole? Can you even play that way in the playoffs? Like, are you going to wear yourselves out? I don't know. I just know what we're looking at right now, that's not going to work.
Yeah, and I'll say this
that's not going to work.
My number one concern, because the other, let's band together and have that speech. I'm into that stuff. I think that will, present itself. But the Steph Curry timeline, when he's coming back, that's the one that really and I'm trying to be positive, but boy, that everything else falls apart if there's a delay.
No doubt. And there is a delay already because he said basically that he won't be ready, for the Laker game, which is March 5th. Isn't that what he said? He said he's
Those
not.
are facts. Yeah. So that's the first one out to shoot, though.
His point being that, I know that we're going to do this after the All-Star break. If you're asking me if I'm going to be ready
the
the
Lakers
first
are the
game,
23rd.
Yeah, he goes, the first game after the break, no. I won't play in that one.
Yeah.
I think that probably also means not the second one. His
the second one's the next night.
Yeah, his point is, I don't know how much longer, but it's going to be a little bit after the break.
That's my concern.
At a minimum.
I was looking at March 2nd, which is the Clipper game. Because you come out of the break and they got 3 games in 4 nights. Yeah. They got a back-to-back to start.
But that's 2.5 weeks. That's
right.
Sounds like nothing.
No, but if he gets reevaluated after the break, that's that game against the Lakers, the 23rd. And then if he's cleared to go, it's probably a week for him to ramp up after that.
But
the scary part is I think his point was, he said this is not like the arm injury earlier. This one, there's unknown. I don't know when I'm going to be ready.
Right.
They knew with that last injury about when he was going to be ready. That's why you get weird tweets like multiple weeks. I don't know what that means.
Right.
They don't know.
And also, when he is able to go again, quote unquote, because it's a leg, he needs about 5 to 6 to 7 days to ramp his legs back up to get back into playing shape. When he hurts his shoulder, he's able to still get on the exercise bike or the treadmill. And so when the shoulder's healed, boom, he's ready to play.
Yeah, exactly. So
and I understand that they won it last year, They were 41-13 after 54 games last year. 41-13. Then they struggled because of some injuries. Obviously, Draymond went down. But you know what else they did? They won 5 in a row going into the playoffs, which I'd forgotten about. So things really fell into place for them. And I'm not saying they were lucky, but they have not had a 10-game stretch where they played as well as the 55 games they played to start last year.
Lucky gets a bad rap, by the way. We use it as a way
I'd like to say they had good fortune.
My point is that every single championship team in every sport always, like I used to remember, Tiger Woods used to say this when he was at the height of his reign. It takes breaks. You do not win a major without breaks. Period. Like we don't need to tell a Warrior fan this. How many stars on opponents have gotten hurt over the last decade that helped them win a title? The Eagles didn't even win a title. Did they get any breaks in these playoffs? It takes breaks. It takes breaks. So it's just funny when teams get to an end and they got lucky. Yeah.
Luck is not fluke.
I don't like lucky though because it's a trigger for.
I know, but it's not the only thing. It's not the only. It's not why you won, but you need some luck. You need some breaks.
I just feel like if you say the Warriors
right now because we got some breaks.
I just feel like if you say the Warriors,
you get a break. You literally got here by winning the lucky break.
True that. And the first year, Kyrie was hurt, they got lucky. And this past year, you didn't have to face Phoenix, you got lucky. It's not a 5-letter word. It's not a bad thing. Of course, you got lucky.
Yeah, I just to me, if I come out and say, look, the Warriors were lucky last year.
Yeah, there's a tone there. There's a tone there.
I'd rather say, look, everybody gets you got to have some breaks. You got to have some good fortune.
For sure.
Things bounce their way. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, you need it.
Looks like what?
Yeah.
You need it.
Well, you're
looking antsy, but the computer's still open. All right.
No,
we're gonna have that. We're gonna have the first 10. We script our first 10 minutes when you guys get out.
Okay, well then we better get out before. You still got 10 minutes if we leave now. Here we go. Steiny and go next.